Okay, on the subject of genocide, we have a question which has been submitted by a member of our team who has been involved in a series of meetings in Congress on the subject of your initiative to repeal the ethanol mandate. And I'm just going to read the question as it was stated. It reads, "Dear Mr. LaRouche, as you are aware, we have begun to meet with members and staffers of the Congress on your call to end the ethanol mandate, and there is a particular problem which has come up in some of these meetings. There are currently 2 bills in the House on this, one which calls for the repeal of the renewable fuels standard, which has a matching bill in the U.S. Senate, and a weaker one which calls for mere reform of the mandate. Several of the offices which we've met with, after we've briefed them on the millions of human deaths around the world due to this policy, and the shortages of grains at any price, have assured us that they too do not want food to be burned as fuel, citing the high price of feed and the consequent loss of poultry and other livestock operations in their own districts. But they have said that they are hesitant to repeal the renewable fuels standard altogether, because doing so would jeopardize startup companies in their districts which are working on non-food related green energy. At this point in these meetings, we take the time to go through one of your principal discoveries of physical economics, namely the concept of energy flux density. This has had a good effect, but I think if you were to speak on this, it would be very helpful. These people seem to believe that green energy is good for the environment and good for the economy, in that it creates jobs on the ground today and should thus be protected. Can you address this? Thank you.
Yes, I think I can address that quite happily and so forth. The question is cowardice. What you're talking about are people who say something should be done about this, the harm should be removed, but we don't want to take and interfere with private rights to conduct businesses. Eh? Well, I say if you are coming in and you're saying that you have to continue to kill people in order to meet the obligations which you have undertaken, in terms of ethanol, then you are a criminal. In other words, if you intend to deprive American citizens of their life for the sake of meeting an ethanol requirement, then you are already a criminal. And your rights to oppose the elimination of that provision is automatic. If it's not, there's something very rotten in the top of government itself. Now, the way you want to understand this is most Americans are cowards. They're essentially cowards. Sometimes Americans who are very influential seem to be very powerful. But when they get up to this thing, where something like the business community, Wall Street, interferes, they crumble. They're terrified. They refuse to do anything. And therefore, when you allow your neighbor to be murdered, and you stood there and watched it happen and didn't do anything to prevent it, you are a criminal. And the only way to get some guts in some Americans who have this default in them is to say, look, buddy, if you're supporting that, we can't trust you because we know you're a criminal. First, you've got to clean the criminal out of you, and then we can respect you.